If you should ask a few people what a story is, you might find that they come up with different answers. But in essence, a story is nothing but a sequence of events that follows one on the other. I'm Isaac, and this is how to write your screenplay, a step-by-step guide. If you should ask a few people what a story is, you might find that they come up with different answers. But in essence, a story is nothing but a sequence of events that follows one on the other. But there's a catch to it. These events must be connected to the main idea of your story. If it is not, you have no story. I will repeat that. A story is a sequence of events that follows one on the other. But the catch is, these events must be connected to the main idea behind your story. But that's not all. There is something else you have to look at. Something that is so important that without it, you cannot have a story. You see, there are certain conditions every story must meet before it can qualify as a story. Number one, you need characters. You need characters. And these characters can be anything. Can be plants, can be trees, can be animals, can be cars, can be anything. But then there's a second thing that is needed. Something must happen to these characters. Something that causes these characters to act in a certain way or do certain things. These characters must have a problem to deal with, and that problem needs to be resolved by the characters. If there's a problem and the answer falls out of the air, there's no story. I say again, you can have characters in a story, and these characters might have a problem. But if these characters don't solve that problem themselves, and the answer just fall out of the sky, there is no story. The third condition thereby is that the characters in the story must go out and look for the solution to that problem. If the characters don't do that, you have no story. So that is the three conditions that must be met in a story. The most important conditions. You must have a character. That character must have a problem, and that character must go out and find the solution to his or her problem. If the character do not do that, even if you have the character, even if the character have the problem, but that character don't go out and look for a solution to solve that problem, there is no story. Because your story exists because of that problem, and because the character, him or herself, have to go out and look for the solution to solve that problem. I say again, if the character don't go out to look for a solution to that problem, you have no story. Because the story exists in the struggle for the character to find the solution to that problem, and in the end, implement that solution to solve the problem. So let me recap. A story is a sequence of events that follows one on the other. But those sequences of events must be connected to your main idea. Secondly, your story must have a character, and that character must have a problem that he or she needs to solve. And the character, him or herself, must be actively involved in looking for that solution, finding that solution, and implementing that solution. That is where your story lies. I'm Isaac, and this is How to Write Your Screenplay, a step-by-step guide. In the next episode of Story, what is story? We will look at this thing of characters. Until next time, good writing.